Today we're going to look at how we infer within poetry and find the lesson learned in the poem. There's several steps that we're going to do, and we're going to model with Honey I Love by Eloise Greenfield. There's steps that we have to do. The first step being is you have to look for clue words in the title that might help suggest what the main idea is about. So I'm going to put a step 1 next to the title. We always look at it and say, okay, the words are Honey I Love. Well, I'm assuming that Eloise is talking about things that she loves, so I'm going to underline that as my step 1. I've analyzed the title now. Now the second thing I'm going to do is, are there repeated words over and over in the poem that kind of help us understand what it might be about? Well, since I underlined loved here, I can already, without even reading the poem, see a lot of words that are repeating over and over, like the word love in line 1, again in 2, again in line 7. I also tell them again in line 8. And then I see it again over here in line 13. And in 14. In line 19. In line 20. I see it again. I see it again where we see in line 25 and 26. I see it here in line 31 and 32. I see the word repeated again when I see it in line 38, 37, and 39 and 41. Now, when I go back, I'm like, wow, that's a lot of loves repeated over and over again in the poem. That's step 2. Step 3 is like, well, what pictures helps create a memory in my mind, or like a picture, an image in my head? Well, when I look at that, I gotta go back and look at where I started with the words love. Like, I love the way he talks. I love the way my cousin talks. Okay, so I'm imagining a cousin talking there. Okay, I'm going to put a step 3 there. We're looking for pictures. And I see that they're talking about like how the hot day and it's icky and it's just, and the sun is sticking to the skin, and how she loves flying into a pool. Well, that makes sense. If it's hot and yucky and it's just really, you're burning and it's hot, then flying into a pool, that's something anybody would love, right? And she loves the feeling of flying into a pool. That's definitely an image into my mind as well. They talk about making dresses for her dolls and playing with that, and how the laughing sound, right? The laughing sound also helps paint a picture in my head. Step 3 for the picture. So I picture a laughing sound of a child having fun playing with their dolls. Another picture thing, it talks about how the uncle's car is crowded. Man, that really helps paint a picture in my head. Picturing a car with lots of people, and how they go to different places. They love looking out the window, and they love looking at the cows and the trees. So they love taking a ride, a family ride. That makes sense too. I love how in the next stanza they say, my mom is sitting on the sofa sewing buttons onto my coat. Man, those words help me paint such a great picture in my head. And I love the way they talk about, I hold her arm and kiss because it feels so soft and warm. So she's saying, I love the way her mom's arm wraps around her. Man, that's a really good picture as well. And then I like to guess, and so when it becomes late at night, but I'm lying in my bed and I guess I need my rest, at least that's what Mama said. She told me not to cry because she doesn't want to hear a peep. Honey, I love you, don't go, but you don't go to sleep. So maybe she's talking about a lot of the things that she loves. These words help me paint pictures in my head of all the wonderful things that she loves. So that's step 3, is looking for these pictures, these words that poets use to describe and put a great picture in your head. Step 4 is, what are feelings that she expressed? Well, that's easy. Feelings are words that help us understand. This one's pretty easy because we know a feeling word is repeated over and over and over again. And the feeling is a word of things that she loves, right? She's just very happy with. Now, what are the last lines? That's step 5. Step 5 is you look at the last lines. These are step 5. But I love a whole lot of things, or I love lots of things, a whole lot of things. And honey, I love you too. Well, that paints a pretty good picture of all the things that she loves, right? That's step 5. Look at the last lines and figure out, what is she talking about exactly? So, you have to ask yourself, number 6, what is the lesson learned? Well, if none of those steps helps you, usually step 5 helps you to understand what is the main message or the theme of the story. And it is, and she says it right here, that she loves a lot of things. This is one way, boys and girls, that you can use to help yourself find the lesson or the theme of a poem.